Lan Festival and the word Filiality in Buddhism. 14 questions and 13 answers are very insightful. Questioned by the Commission of Spreading the Dharma in Europe. Answered in Vietnamese and translated into English by Venerable Thích via the link below. We would like to invite you to read and hear them happily. Namo, the original master, Sakyamuni Buddhaya. Brief introduction to Dharma preacher Thích. I, Thiện Thảo, would like to respectfully pay homage to monastic people and your presence. I would like to respectfully pay homage to Senior Venerable Thích, a special guest for today's talk show, and I also welcome Buddhist friends. We wish you all good health, wisdom, and peacefulness. Dear the Venerable, we are extremely grateful for you accepting the invitation of the organizing committee and warmly welcome you for the first time you come to the Dharma discussion of the European Dharma Spreading Commission. Next, we would like to have a few words to introduce the Venerable to the audience. Senior Venerable Dharma name is Thích. Thầy was born in 1968 in Nha Trang City, Khánh Hòa Province, Vietnam. In 1985, Thầy has left home for monastic life at Linh Nghia Temple and is an official disciple of the most late Venerable Master Thích, the head monk who founded the Linh Nghĩa Temple in Diên Khánh District, Khánh Hòa Province. In 1993, Thầy was legally ordained and received the higher ordination as Bhikkhu on the Great Precepts Transmission Ceremony of Dithu I at Long Sơn Temple in Nha Trang City, Khánh Hòa Province. In 1994, Thầy graduated with the Intermediate Buddhist Studies Diploma in Nha Trang City, Khánh Hòa Province, Course 1, the second class. In 2001, Thầy graduated from Vietnam Buddhist University with a bachelor's degree in Buddhist Studies in Saigon City, Course 4, the third class. In 2004, Thầy graduated from Delhi University, India, with a Master's of Arts degree in Buddhist Studies, the first class. In 2005, Thầy graduated from Delhi University, India, with a Master's of Philosophy degree in Buddhist Studies, the first class. In 2009, Thầy graduated from Delhi University, India, in excellent position with a Doctor's Philosophy degree in Buddhist Studies. In 2012 to 2014, Thầy worked as a Dharma teacher at Linh Nghia Temples in Austin and Linder, Texas. At the end of 2014, Thầy and Buddhist devotees had enough good condition to buy the land with a single home, and Thầy founded and established Pháp Nhãn Temple in the vicinity of Austin, Texas. At the beginning of 2015, Thầy has been the legal abbot until today. There, he propagated the Buddha Dharma to Buddhists and non-Buddhists in the United States of America. In 2018, Thầy passed his citizenship exam and officially became a U.S. citizen. We would like to respectfully introduce a few brief words to the Venerable. Dear the Venerable, reading through your biography, we deeply respect your Dharma learning and Dharma practice. In your will and vow of propagating the Dharma, you spent a lot of time making your own great effort in order to share his experiences and guide us Buddhists to practice the Buddha Dharma and achieve peacefulness and happiness right in the present life. Today, we vow to listen to the Master's teaching on the topic Lan Festival and the word Filiality in Buddhism below so that you can have deep confidence in the three jewels and firmly step on the path of practice to benefit yourself and other people right now and right here in the present life. Question 1. Dear teacher, please tell us more about the origin of the word Lan Festival and the meaning of the two words Lan. What do they mean? Part 1. The origin of the Lan Festival dates back when the Buddha was still alive. This everyone agrees and accepts. According to the tradition, most people accept the word Vulan's origin dates back to the Buddha's time, especially through the story of the Venerable Mangalana, the Buddha's second monastic disciple who practiced, attained enlightenment, and achieved the highest supernatural power. But according to the personal view, the origin of Vulang originated from the Buddha when the Buddha attained perfect enlightenment under the Bodhi tree at the age of 35. The Buddha's father, King Sudanana, sent messengers from the first to the eighth people, came to invite the Buddha to visit his father again, along with his relatives and friends, and the city of Kapilavastu, where the Buddha was born, grew up, and left his royal family for monastic life. The first time, after 8 royal people were sent by the king to visit the Buddha, no one returned to the palace to report to the king at all. When arriving at the Bodh Yaga, the Buddha attained full enlightenment and taught the Dharma to his disciples. 8 royal messengers came to see the Buddha and the Sangha and asked to become monastic disciples of the Buddha. They considered that the monastic life was always leisurely, calm, and free from worldly affairs, so they liked it very much and asked the Buddha to allow them to live and function in the Sangha in Bodh Gaya. For the second time, obeying the invitation of King Sudanana, the 9th person named Kalodayan personally went to Bodh Gaya, where the Buddha attained enlightenment, to successfully invite the Buddha to visit the palace of Kapilavastu and his father, King Sudanana. We know that at that time, King Sudanana was about 7-8 years old because the king and Queen Maya were about 43 years old. They had just had their first child. At the age of 35, the Buddha attained perfect enlightenment, and plus, at the age of 43, the king had the first child. At that time, the king was about 7-8 years old. Thus, at the age of 29, when Bodhisattva Siddhartha left the royal palace to become a monk and attained perfect enlightenment under the Buddha tree at the age of 35, the time away from his father and the royal palace was about 6 full years. For the first time, the Buddha and his Sangha visited the royal palace and the king Sudanana when the king was about 7-8 years old. For the second time, about 5 years later, when hearing the news that King Sudanana was seriously ill, the Buddha and the Sangha came to visit the king, and the Buddha spoke the discourse on the characteristic of non-self and invited the king to repeat it with the Buddha as follows. Quote, I am of the nature to grow old. I cannot escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. I cannot escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. I cannot escape death. Unquote. All things are created by my bodily action, verbal action, and mental action. I cannot let go of them, whether it is good karma or not good karma. Aware that good karma I continue to maintain and develop, and not good karma I try to recognize and transform. All relatives, loved ones, and things I cherish today are of nature to change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My actions are only my true belongings. I cannot escape the consequences of my actions. My actions are the ground on which I stand. After finishing repeating of Buddha's teaching, King Suddhodana attained the third holy fruition of Anagami and then passed away. While carrying the casket of King Suddhodana, Buddha Sakyamuni personally walked in front to carry the casket of King Suddhodana. This point reminds us that the filial mind is the Buddha's mind. The filial conduct is the Buddha's conduct. Thus, the source of filial piety originates from the Buddha himself. Furthermore, this point emphasizes that even if we achieve enlightenment like the Buddha, even if we become a president, a prime minister, or a chairman, but when our father and mother are the ones who gave birth to us, raises us, and taught us to become virtuous, talented, and exemplary people, then when our parents are sick and old, we must spend our most proper time in order for us to visit, encourage, and greet. When we do this well, we will be the filial children to our parents. Except in exceptional cases, while you are applying for a green card in the United States, you are not legally allowed to visit your parents, and your parents are seriously ill or pass away. At that time, you can ask other relatives or loved ones in Vietnam to visit and to take care of your parents. Once you have a green card, you can personally visit and take care of your parents after they have passed away. Part 2. The word Vulang, translated from the word Vulangbong, Ulambana, translated meaning from the phrase gratitude, kindness, and thankful repayment, gratefulness, thanksgiving, filial piety, etc. In the word Ulambana, there is Yudi, lamp, literally means hanging upside down, going against the moral rules of family, being unfilial to parents. The figurative meanings of this word means educating. Those who are unfilial to their parents become filial children. Know how to be thankful and grateful in Buddhism. According to Buddhism, in the cultural field, the Vulang is often associated with other festivals in Buddhism, such as the Joyful Day of the Buddha, the Tet holiday of the Sangha, the day monastic people complete summer retreat, the day monastic people receive and repent mutual faults, the day monastic people have one more of the age of the Dharma, the day lay Buddhist devotees have the wholesome opportunity to make the 4 offerings to the 3 jewels, the full moon offering day of the 7th month, the day to pray peace for the country and people, and the day to remember the deceased. In the family field, the Great Vulang ceremony means expressing gratitude and being grateful to parents. 2 Buddhas are living in the family and have the ability to give birth and raise children to become talented and virtuous people. Children know how to be grateful and remember their parents' birth and upbringing. Parents are the people who are grateful to their children, who have the ability to become the family lineage and continue the life of the family lineage and ancestors. In the field of schooling, especially in Buddhist education, the Vulang Festival has the meaning of educating, guiding us to become people with morality, meditation, wisdom, liberation, and liberation with right understanding. Teachers are exemplary people who transmit Dharma knowledge and secular knowledge to us. We are students, inheritors, and continue to learn, practice, create, and apply the knowledge we have learned in the daily life to help ourselves and other people right here and right now in the present life. The previous generation, teachers are the transmitters. The next generation, we are the successors. The transmissions and inheritance between previous and future generations always connect together without interruption. In the field of society, The Great Vulang ceremony means being grateful for the alms and offerings of alms givers, grateful to the guardians of the three jewels, grateful to be the benefactors who develop mind to offer food, drinks, and medicine to us. In a broader aspect, the Vulang Festival means being grateful and expressing gratitude to the countries where we were born, raised, live, and work, being grateful and remember gratitude to the national heroes who have the ability to found, build, defend, maintain, and develop the country from ancient time until today. Question 2. Please let us understand more about the reason why Vulang Festival is usually held on the full moon day of the lunar July and not in other months. As mentioned above, according to Northern Buddhism, Vulang is often associated with the joyful day of the Buddha, the day monastic people complete the summer retreat, the day monastic people receive and repent the mutual faults, the day monastic people have one more of the age of the Dharma, the day lay Buddhist devotees have wholesome conditions to make 4 offerings to the 3 jewels, the full moon offering day of the lunar July, the day to pray peace and prosperity for the nation, and the day to remember the deceased, etc. However, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, and every month, we do good things, say good things, and think of good things that bring benefits to ourselves and other people, then it has already been Vulang Day. According to the ancient conventions, Vulang Parents' Day is usually held on the full moon day of lunar July, but nowadays, Vulang ceremony is often held for a whole month or more than a whole month. People often call it the season of great ceremony of Vulang. Thus, Vulang has a broader meaning, with good thoughts, good meanings, good words, and good actions that mean gratitude and thankfulness in daily life. It is the day of great ceremony of Vulang, Filiality in Buddhism. Question 3. Dear teacher, usually in the Vulang season, there is also a ceremony to forgive the sins for the dead and to make offerings to wandering souls. Please explain to us whether these ceremonies are related to the Vulang ceremony so that we can understand more accurately. Looking at a spiritual cultural aspect, the Vulang festival in Buddhism often refers to the issue of gratitude and gratefulness, kindness, not only to the living but also to the deceased, because they have very deep interbeing and interconnected relationship with each other. The spiritual and material cultural heritage that previous generation left for the future generations is to inherit is that we must be responsible for taking care of, maintaining, and developing. The purpose of worshiping and praying for the deceased has the meaning of remembering and reminding the good things that the previous generations have left behind. We, the next generation, will continue to inherit and promote the things that our ancestors left much better, more creative, and more durable. Understanding and doing so, the worship and the prayers between the living and the dead will have much more positive meanings. On the other hand, looking at the religious aspect, when the Vulang festival comes, those who consider worshipping wandering souls and spirits as their main job, people will think that their worship is considered as a job. Sometimes Buddhism is misunderstood as a religion of devil worship. Buddhism always emphasizes those to become monastic people learn, understand, practice, and apply the Buddha Dharma in daily life to recognize and transform the minds of greed, anger, and delusion into the minds of less greed, less anger, and less delusion. In short, the worship of in Buddhism has the main meaning of gratitude and grateful remembrance among the living people for those who have passed away, with a positive direction without a negative meaning. It only has a secondary meaning. Therefore, Buddhism always promotes and focuses on people learning the Dharma, understanding the Dharma, practicing the Dharma, protecting the Dharma, and propagating the Dharma to benefit oneself and other people right in the present life. Question 4. Dear Thầy, when attending Vu Lan ceremonies at Vietnamese Buddhist temples, I saw there are performances of rose pinned on shirt, altars to recruit souls, ceremonies to pray for the souls of the past, going for alms, etc. According to Thầy, which features appear features of the Vu Lan ceremony, and which features are integrated with the Vietnamese culture? During the Vu Lan Festival season, around the early 1960s, the rose pinning ceremony initiated by the Zen master Thích was maintained and widely developed until today. The red rose symbolized those who still have parents. The white rose symbolized those who have lost both father and mother. The pink rose symbolized those who have lost either father or mother. The yellow rose symbolized the purity, serenity, nobility, freedom, and holiness of monastic people. The pure beauty of the Vu Lan festival season is often mentioned by the culture of worship and prayers between the living and the deceased in the spirit of gratitude and thankfulness, remembrance. During the Vu Lan festival season, for those who have become monastic people, there is also a very beautiful alms begging tradition that recreates the images of the Buddha and the Sangha going on alms round in leisurely and free manners and creates good condition for the lay Buddhist devotees directly to sow blessing and make offerings too. Besides the above meanings, the pure beauty of the Vu Lan festival season is also reminded of the spirit of gratitude and grateful remembrance expressed through the Vietnamese proverb, when drinking water, remember the source. When eating the fruit, remember the person who planted the tree. We all know Buddhism has been present in Vietnam for more than thousands of years. Every time the Vu Lan festival season comes, the Buddhists often feel grateful for the light of wisdom of the three jewels, grateful for the secular and Dharma teachers who have given us moral lives, meditation, and wisdom, grateful for the birth and upbringing of parents, grateful for the contribution and offerings of donors and alms givers, grateful for the countries where we were born, grown up, lived, and worked, grateful for the national heroes who have contributed of founding, building, and defending the country from thousands. Question 5. Dear teacher, I wonder if other countries where Buddhism is spread, do they celebrate the Vu Lan festival like Vietnam? If yes, in what form do they organize? Please share this. They also organize Vu Lan festival, but other names. For example, in Japan, the Obon festival is held about 3 days, starting from August 15 of the solar calendar, equivalent to July of the lunar calendar. There are folk dances, dropping lights on the river, etc. They often write the words of wishes and hang them on bamboo tree so that their wish come true within the year. There are warm reunion meals with family members. In Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Ceylon, etc., the festival is also celebrated, but they all emphasize the meaning of gratitude and gratefulness, remembrance. Question 6. Dear teacher, during Lan Festival, many people release animals to dedicate merit to parents. So on this day, a lot of animals are captured to be sold, and many are injured to death. In your opinion, is it necessary to release living animals on Vulang Day? Please share your perspective. We know that the releasing of animals does not have to wait until the Vulang festival season to do it. The day we develop the compassionate mind, on that day we will be able to release the animals. There are two kinds of animals released: intelligent animal release and non-intelligent animals release. Intelligent animal release means animal release without creating karma. Non-intelligent animal release means animal release of creating karma, either directly or indirectly. For example, intelligent animal release means that when we go somewhere and see an animal being captured, we generate a compassionate mind to buy that animal and pray that animal takes refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, the three jewels. After that, we release it. It will have a longer and more spacious life. Releasing animals unwisely means releasing animals to create karma, releasing animals to order to have to tell people to catch like 1,000 turtles, 1,000 birds, 1,000 fish, etc. We have just created indirect karma and asked others to create direct karma. In the first ethics, the Buddha taught people whether killing oneself or telling others to kill sentient beings or see other people kill sentient beings, that one is happy with all the karmas of killings. Beware of that. As a smart person, we arouse a compassion mind to release living beings without ordering in advance. We know that most Indian people are about 80% vegetarian. In Bulgaria, when Vietnamese people come here to make Buddhist pilgrimage, they think that releasing animals into the lake on the 6 weeks of the Buddha is sacred. In this lake, there are a lot of big fish. The Vietnamese pilgrims want numerous small fish to release into this lake. After the delegation finished praying and released the small fish into the lake, the big fish immediately ate all the small fish. This is the kind of unintelligent animal release, which means animal release to create karma. We create indirect karma and ask other people to create karma to catch fish for us. When we drop small fish in the lake, the big fish eat all the small fish. This karma follows another. Releasing animals like this cause local people to create karma of killing, not well. The Buddha taught us that intelligent animal release and the releasing of animals does not create karma of killing. It is the best way for us to vow to be vegetarian in a methodical way to maintain and develop good health for the body and mind. Spend an appropriate amount of money to release animals for charity, help poor students study well, build charity houses, etc. They are the most perfect and meaningful jobs. Question 7. Dear teacher, in addition to the Philia story of Venerable Moggallana in Buddhism, are there sutras that teach about filial piety? Please introduce them to us. In Buddhism, what the Buddha taught is compiled into Holy Tripitaka, including Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka, that mention very much about filial piety. In the answers to this question, the writer wants to quote some typical sutras for you as follows. The Sutras of Forbearance record, quote, "The ultimate good is nothing better than filial piety. The ultimate evil is nothing worse than the filial piety," unquote. The Sutra of Heart and Earth Contemplation records, quote, "Parents living in life are like the Buddha still in the world, born in the world without seeing the Buddha. We skillfully take care of our parents, meaning we are worshipping Buddhas," unquote. The Sutra of Supreme Net records, quote, "All men are our fathers, all women are our mothers. Having gone through many lives of births and deaths, we are born from there. All sentient beings in the six paths are our parents," unquote. The Dhammapada verse 332 and 194 records, "Happy is to filial respect the mother and father. Happy is to pay homage to the word, honor Buddha. Happy is to be precious and respectful to Samana. Happy is to be precious and respectfully to the Sangha in Dharma practice together," unquote. Mahamangala Sutta records, quote, "Know how to take care of our parents, love our family, know how to do the proper jobs. It is the greatest happiness," unquote. Question 8. Dear teacher, please explain to us again the way to live accordingly to filial piety, quoted from one of the sutras taught by the Buddha, so that we can master and practice filial piety in Buddhism well. The Sutra of Ekotara Agama records, "Dear disciples, there are two kinds of people to whom we cannot repay our gratitude. Those are father and mother. If the left shoulder carries the father, the right shoulder carries the mother, traveling thousands of miles, providing the parents with all the food, drinks, clothes, blankets, and medicine. Even if the parents urinate and defecated on the shoulder, we still cannot repay our parents' deep gratitude. As filial children, if we want to repay our parents' gratitude in a practical way, we must try to create good conditions and guide our parents to live in accordance with the true Dharma by practicing the following Buddha's teaching. Quote, "If parents do not have confidence in the three jewels yet, we encourage them to have confidence in the three jewels. If parents are greedy and stingy, we encourage them to develop the mind of almsgiving. If parents do evil things, we encourage them to stop do evil things and lead them to good path. If parents have wrong view, we encourage them to return to the right view. If parents do not take refuge in the three jewels yet, we encourage them to take the refuge in the three jewels. If parents do not have enough opportunity to learn and practice the 5 ethical trainings yet, we will create enough condition for them to learn, understand, and practice the 5 ethical trainings to bring benefits to ourselves and other people right in the present life. When we understand and practice so, we have contributed in helping our parents follow the path of the right Dharma. Currently, our parents live peacefully, and in the future, when they pass away, they will be born into peaceful realm." Question 9. Dear Thầy, the word filiality in Confucianism, ancestral religion, or according to the natural culture, all have an individual view. According to you, what are the commonalities and differences between the word filiality in Buddhism and other religions? For example, some people believe that becoming a monastic person and leaving his parents at home is unfilial, contrary to the view of Buddhism. Please share this. We know that the word filiality in Confucianism and Buddhism has some similarities and very specific differences. First, the word filiality in Confucianism has some similarities with the word filiality in Buddhism. The filiality in Confucianism states, filiality has 3 things. First, the great filiality is to respect parents. Second, not doing anything that brings disrespect to parents. And lastly, nurturing parents. 1. Cherishing and preserving the body born by parents. 2. Establishing a good fame in life to honor your parents. 3. For parents, children must take care of their parents when they are still alive and take care of the funeral arrangements when their parents pass away. Manager said, if you are not filial to your parents, you are not worthy to be a human being. Zentu say, filiality is the top of 100 virtues. Those who are filial to parents can sympathize with the heaven, the wind, and the rain will be favorable. Those who are filial to parents can sympathize with earth. All things will be good and fresh. Those who are filial to parents can sympathize with human beings. Happiness and fortune will get prosperous. On the positive side, the word filiality in Confucianism encourages children to be wholeheartedly filial to their parents in the daily life. Similar to the above meaning, the word filiality in Buddhism has the special and surpassing meaning. In Samyutta Nikaya, Volume 1, the Buddha taught, Dear disciples, what is more, the mother's milk that you drank while you circulated in samsara for a long time, or the water in 4 oceans? In reality, mother's milk is more than abundant than sea water. In this sense, the Buddha emphasized that the gratitude and upbringing of the parents cannot be repaid and cannot be fully expressed in words. Parents are the ones who provide care and nurture for their children. Do not expect anything from their children in return. They just want their children to become virtuous and talented people in the family, at school, and in society. However, children in the family are filial to their parents. The increasing by one Amaga Sutra clearly states the following, quote, Dear disciples, if someone is grateful and repays the gratitude to his parents, even if he is thousands of miles far away from me, I consider that person as standing close to me. What if someone is not grateful and does not repay the gratitude to his parents? Even if that person stands close to me, but I still view him as standing thousands of miles far away from me, unquote. Moreover, those who are grateful to repay their parents' gratitude in accordance with the true Dharma are considered to be the most noble people in the world. Anguttara Nikaya 1, number 306 states, quote, The appearance of the Tathagata, the fully enlightened one, is very difficult to find in this world. People who propagate the Tathagata Dharma are very difficult to find in the world. People who are grateful and repay their parents' gratitude are very difficult to find in the world. Families that have filial children are the worthy of praising and offerings, unquote. Anguttara Nikaya 1, number 147 states as follows, quote, Dear disciples, families that have children who pay respects to their parents are respected and considered equal to Brahmas, the masters of showing the way, the worthy of praise and offerings, unquote. Indeed, the filial piety of children towards their parents are not only practices in accordance to the true Dharma, but also in accordance with the laws in the world, and is praised by the Buddha and everyone through the Samyutta Nikaya 1, 225 recorded as follows, quote, Someone who follows the usual Dharma nurtures mother and father. It is because of this merit toward the mother and father, thanks to that, the sage, in this life prays, after death, he born, enjoys peacefulness of God, unquote. Through what is presented above, we know that both Confucianism and Buddhism have similar points and are alike in terms of word filiality. Children must have filial piety, morality, politeness, respect, and serve and care for their parents, especially when they grow up. They must live meaningful life to bring good name and reputation to the family, lineage, and society. However, in a different aspect, the word filiality in Confucianism states the body, including eyes, ears, nose, mouth, hair, nails, etc., is born by parents, so the body could not be damaged. Those who shave off their hairs and beard, modify their bodies, have surgery, and change their gender are considered inferior people. According to Confucian viewpoint, the word filiality mentioned in this way is not suitable for today's society. Furthermore, the word filiality in Confucianism is approved by society today through saying, the fathers that tell their son to die, then the son must die. If the son does not die, as the father tells him, then the son is not filial to the father. The father tells the son not to do it. If the son does not follow what the father teaches, he is an unfilial son with the father. In today's society of reality, there are unrighteous fathers who tell their children to do things such as killing, taking what is not given, living in sexual misconduct and adultery, violating children's sexuality, lying and drinking intoxicants, using drugs, but the son is conscious not to do the above wrong things. If the son does one of those things, he will bring suffering to himself and his loved ones. Therefore, the child determines not to do it. The words that is, the father teaches his children are completely incorrect and not suitable for today's society. It is a product of thinking of ancient feudal society in the style of where the father puts the child sits there. Today, with the right view and right intention, the son no longer does or listens to what is wrong with his father, but only does what brings benefits to people and other people. The child decides to do so. According to the perspective of the word filiality in Buddhism, children who do not follow what their father teaches, which goes against moralities, ethics, and social laws, are filial and good to their family, school, and society. This child deserves to be cherished and praised. Thus, feudal and exclusive society, according to the old filial perspective, is completely inappropriate for people in today's society. On the other hand, the word filiality in Confucianism emphasizes that those who shave off their hair and beard are unfilial. Those who do not get married to continue the family lineage are unfilial. Or those who get married only have daughters but do not have boys are called unfilial. Thus, the word unfiliality in Confucianism states that a man must not shave off his hair or beard, must have a wife, and must have a son. We know that in today's society, it is normal for men to shave their hair, their beard. Men do not get married. It is normal for them to live alone. When they get married, they can have either a daughter or a son. It is all right. They do not value boys more than girls, or vice versa. All sons and daughters are their children. Thus, in the concept of filial piety in ancient Confucianism has no longer standing in today's society. The word filiality in Buddhism, shaving off well-trained cultivators' hair and beard, is completely filial. Shaving hair and beard in Buddhism is the best makeup to help cultivators become more beautiful and have better appearances through the practice of stately and refined conduct, such as walking, standing, lying down, sitting in mindfulness, awareness, and in meditation practice. We know that in Buddhism, monastic people must shave off their hair and beard because beard and hair symbolize afflictions. Shaving off hair and beard means shaving off afflictions on the body. Cultivating, practicing, and applying the Buddha Dharma in the daily life means shaving off afflictions in the mind to benefit oneself and other people right in the present life. Therefore, the appearance of cultivators must be completely different from the appearance of secular persons. Wearing monastic robes without shaving off hair and beard is not true monastics. When living the secular life and wearing monastic robes, the monastic people must shave off their hair and beard. When there are enough wholesome conditions to become monastics, the cultivators have noble aspirations to cultivate, study, and save the world to help make life happier and less suffered. Every hour, every day, and every week, monastic cultivators should touch their heads and remind themselves to consciously recognize and transform the afflictions of greed, anger, and delusion to lead upwards and goodness. Above, pray to learn, apply, and practice the Dharma of the Word-honored one. Below, bring their own good cultivation and practice to educate other people. This is filial act of cultivators in Buddhism towards parents, ancestors through the aspects of morality, education, and noble spirituality. Sakyamuni Buddha, who left his royal palace for monastic life, practiced meditation and attained full enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, returned for the second time to visit Kapilavastu and preached the Dharma to his father, King Suddhodana, when his king was lying on his sick bed. Another time, the Buddha went to Tavatimsa heaven to preach the Dharma to his holy mother, Maya. In the Ullabana Sutra commentary, the first part of the commentary records, quote, Bodhisattva Siddhartha, who renounced the royal throne, became a homeless hermit, achieved perfect enlightenment, unquote, whose title is Sakyamuni Buddha, determined to save his parents and all living beings. Through the exemplary image of the Buddha, as monastics, we determined to study the Buddha Dharma diligently, to dedicate blessings to our parents, advise our parents to believe deeply in the cause and effect, to believe deeply in the three jewels, advise the parents to abandon evil and do good. This is the best way for monastic to show filial piety to the parents, not only in one life but also in many other lives. On the other hand, the word filiality, according to the different perspectives in Confucian, funeral is performed as follows. 1. Observing the auspicious date and time for the deceased. 2. Killing animals to sacrifice for the deceased, then hosting a feast for those attending the funeral. 3. Crying a lot while the funeral is happening. 4. Burning notive papers or held money for the deceased. On the contrary, the word filiality in Buddhist funeral does not agree with the above viewings. Buddhism does not accept good or bad days and hours. The Buddha taught that good and bad days and hours depend on the good and the bad karma we create and cause. For example, today is a good day, but if we do unwholesome deeds such as killing, taking what is not giving, then today, good day becomes a bad day. On the contrary, today is a bad day, but if we do good deeds, such as helping needy people and making offerings to the three jewels, then today, bad day will become a good day. In Buddhism, when a family member dies, the family members vow to eat vegetarian food and offer vegetarian food for the deceased. They do not cry. On the contrary, they spend time chanting sutras, sitting meditation, and reciting the Buddha's name to send wholesome energies to the deceased. To protect a safe and green environment, they are aware that they should not burn the notive paper. They spend money helping and supporting poor students. In Buddhism, the word filiality is specifically expressed through aspects material and spirituality. In terms of material aspects, when parents are old and weak, children have the responsibility to take care of their parents completely. Anguttara Nikaya, Chapter 4, Dharma, Karma, Merits, states, quotes, parents are like the Brahmas, the teachers, and the gods. Therefore, filial children must respect their parents by offering food, drink, clothing, bedding, bathing, massaging their bodies, limbs, and feet to their parents, unquote. In terms of spiritual aspect, children know how to guide their parents to let go of evil dharma and lead them to true dharma. The Dharma Repentance Sutta, number 142, clearly states, quote, if parents are stubborn, deluded with wrong view, do not believe in three jewels, are aggressive, wicked, cruel, inhumane, and cause many bad karmas, then filial children must know how to advise parents to abandon evil and do good deed, arouse good minds, return to the right path, stay close to good friends, open body-mind, practice meditation, recite Buddha's names, make parents often feel peaceful, unquote. In Anguttara Nikaya 1, number 75, the Buddha has taught that children have the duties and responsibilities to skillfully guide their parents into the true dharmas as follows, quote, dear disciples, parents do not have confidence in the three jewels yet. Then filial children encourage them to have confidence in the three jewels. Parents do not understand cause and effect yet. Then filial children encourage the parents to believe deeply in cause and effect. Parents have evil precepts. Then filial children encourage the parents to have the right precepts. Parents have a greedy mind. Then filial children encourage the parents to arouse an all-giving mind. Parents have wrong view, wrong intention, wrong speech, etc. Then filial children encourage the parents to have the right view, right intention, right speech, etc. When they understand and practice well, children have the ability to be grateful and repay the gratitude to the parents deeply. On the other hand, the material and spiritual aspects include the relationships of responsibilities and duties between children and parents in a moral and educational family in the Digha Nikaya, number 31. Sigala Vada Sutra. The Buddha taught filial piety to everyone clearly as follows. Toward their parents, children have 5 duties. 1. Providing necessary material and spiritual needs for the parents. 2. Helping to do hard work for your parents. 3. Protecting kinship, dignity, and family tradition. 4. Maintaining inheritable property. 5. Having the responsibility to look after funeral in accordance with the right dharma when parents pass away. Towards their children, parents have 5 duties. 1. Teaching their children to do good, not to do evil. 2. Advising them to be close with experienced teachers, good friends, and wholesome environments. 3. Suggesting and choosing the right careers for their children. 4. Building a good wife and husband for their children. 5. Giving inheritance rights and benefits to children at the right time. In summary, looking at the moral and educational aspects of happy families, the word filiality always emphasizes filial children, exemplary parents, and a family with cultivation. Through what has been discussed above, the word filiality in Buddhism and Confucianism have similarities. In this part, we need to maintain and develop morality and educate family and society. However, in terms of difference between the word filiality in Buddhism and Confucianism, We must learn to select the meaning of filial piety in a way that is suitable for people and society today in the 21st century. In Buddhism, the word filial piety often refers to both material and spiritual aspects, especially the spiritual part. This spiritual part is the moral part and noble education. In Buddhism, it is always appreciated, praised, and praised by Buddha and people. It has the ability to surpass all education and filial piety in life. Question 10. Dear teacher, what do you think about the situation of Vietnamese people living abroad? When their children grow up, move out to live on their own, parents respect the freedom of their children, so parents accept to live alone. They only have the opportunity to see each other on weekends. When old parents do not want to bother their children, they go to a nursing home or ask other people to pay for the nursing, etc. Dear Thầy, do you have any advice for Vietnamese families how to create a lifestyle to fulfill filial piety appropriately according to the circumstances of Vietnamese people living overseas? We know that families are the cells of society. Families with good education and ethics contribute to helping society, and vice versa. Families without good education are a great burden to society. In the past, Vietnamese families were often complex families with 2 or 3 generations living together. But today, due to the influence of social and national development, Vietnamese families get often single families. In Western culture in general, single families are normal. Children just have grown up 20 or 18 years old. They want to leave their family to live independently because of their education and jobs. They have to live separately. However, in order for children to know the filial piety and morality in the family, first of all, parents must be exemplary people and do not drink intoxications in the whole day and night. When the children are young, parents need to send them to the Vietnamese Buddhist Youth Association to help them to have a healthy environment, play with good friends, speak Vietnamese, learn Vietnamese culture, sing Vietnamese, and learn the Buddha Dharma in Vietnamese. If parents know how to create a healthy playground for their children, then gradually their children will easily integrate into Vietnamese culture and learn good things from exemplary Buddhist youth friends and leaders. Try to educate your children when they are young. Do not wait until your children are grown up for their parents to start providing guidance. Then by the time it is already too late. Let's bend bamboos while they are still half shoots. Guide your children when they are still like blank sheets of paper. Do not wait for them to grow up like black sheets of paper. At that time, it will not be easy for you to guide and teach them at all, because their heads are filled with worldly knowledge and unhealthy habits in life. To cherish the presence of loved ones in your families. When children are young, your families should have reunion meals during the day. When children grow up, your families try to create good opportunities to meet each other on weekends. Or when children are busy studying or doing business far away, your families try to create meetings at the end of the month, etc. If you can organize regularly like that and become a good habit, then the culture and education in your families will be easier to warm up and become warmer. When parents are in the nursing home, children have the responsibility to visit their parents when they are old. As long as parents see the children, they feel peaceful and happy. To take care of and support their parents much better, there are Vietnamese families who just want to take care of their parents at home. They do not want to send them to the nursing home. However, depending on the different circumstances of each family. We can flexibly and skillfully take care of our parents in a way that is appropriate to current society. Question 11. Dear Thầy, in the case of children who understand the Buddha Dharma, their parents do not, even though the children have tried to convince and advise their parents. Dear teacher, do you have any specific instructions for such families? At least, what good things should children create for their parents? In the case of children understanding the Dharma, the parents do not understand. To convince parents to understand the Dharma, first of all, children must demonstrate that they are true Buddhists who study Dharma, understand the Dharma, practice the Dharma, protect the Dharma, contribute to propagating the Dharma. Children are those who learn, understand, practice, and apply the 5 moral trainings in the daily life to benefit oneself and other people right here and right now in the present life. As true and intelligent Buddhists, we skillfully know how to guide parents to understand, to learn, and practice the Buddha Dharma. Nowadays, with Wi-Fi internet, every day we can open YouTube for our parents to listen to monastic teachers explaining the meaning of cause and effects, the right confidence in the 3 jewels, the meaning of right view and wrong view, etc. We can use the method of raining a lot, of soaking the ground. Today and tomorrow, we would like to invite our parents to listen to the Dharma gradually. Then they will absorb the Dharma more easily. At the temple, there are Buddha Vesak Day and Vulang ceremonies. We would like to invite our parents to go to the temple to contact and interact with our Dharma friends. Gradually, our parents will be happy to follow the Buddha's teachings. Question 12. Dear teacher, according to Buddhism, for parents who have died in this life or in many previous lives, can children be filial to their parents? Please tell us and explain further why this filial piety is effective. The Buddha taught that people in this life must go through 4 cycles: birth, aging, illness, and death. When we look at the physical aspects, if our parents die for a year or many years, we call them completely lost. But according to the interbeing view of Buddhism, especially the spiritual view, our parents are not lost. Our parents are always present in our own selves and lives. Wherever children are, parents are present there, and vice versa. Wherever parents are, children are present there, manifesting in the streams of conscious minds, words, thoughts, and actions in the daily life. When we do good things, speak good things, think about good thoughts, when we know how to take refuge in the 3 jewels, learn, understand, and practice the Buddha's teaching correctly, specifically the 5 full moral precepts, then our parents have been present in our lives. Parents are present in freshness, peace, and happiness with ourselves. On the contrary, when we do evil, think of evil, say evil, our parents are also present in our daily life, but present in happiness and suffering with ourselves. Because of the evil that we have created, our parents are influenced by the evil from us. We are aware that filial children to our parents in every second, every minute, every hour, and every day. We vow not to do evil, vow to do good deeds, and keep our minds pure. That is what the Buddha taught. In short, physically, after our parents pass away, we see that we have lost, but spiritually, our parents have never lost. When we understand and practice this well, we can be grateful and repay our parents' gratitude already. Therefore, we skillfully apply the Buddha's teaching in our daily life in a flexible and appropriate way so that we can bring the flowers and fruits of peacefulness and happiness to the marriage right in the present life. Question 13. Please tell us more in details in Buddhism. How seriously is the sin of unfilial piety considered? We know that normally in the world, those who committed the sin of being unfilial to parents will be despised and abandoned, left alone. In Buddhism, there are people who do not only lost their spiritual roots and bloodline, but also lost their moral foundation and family education. By the methods of comparing the gratitude for parental birth, upbringing, and the sin of being unfilial to parents, the Sutra of Repaying Parents' Gratitude clearly states the following, quote, "The gratitude for parental birth and upbringing is immeasurable. Then the sin of being unfilial to parents is also immeasurable," unquote. In the Sutras of Patience, the Buddha taught, in the highest goodness, there is nothing as good as filial piety, but in the ultimate evil, there is nothing as bad as unfilial piety, unquote. The sin of being unfilial to parents through many different teachings is as follows: not listening to the correct teachings of parents, spending and destroying the proper made by parents, living dependently on the sweat and effort of parents, causing parents to struggle all day long to earn a living, committing of 5 ethical thinking: 1. Killing, 2. Stealing, 3. Living in sexual misconduct, adultery, and violating children's sexuality, 4. Lying or saying harmful things to other people, 5. Taking intoxicants, drugs, gambling, etc. The Anguttara Nikaya, Volume 1, 738 states, "Dear disciples, there are 5 sins that lead to the lower realms, to hell, cannot be cured." What 5? 1. Killing the father. 2. Killing the mother. 3. Killing the aberrant. 4. Make malice, to make the Tagatata bleed. 3. Destroying the harmony of the Sangha. The Anguttara Nikaya 637 clearly states, quote, "Those who do evil to their parents, speak evil to their parents, think about evil to their parents, not being grateful and not repaying the gratitude for the parental birth and upbringing, they suffer in the present life, and after death, they will be falling into a hell," unquote. Thus, those who commit the sin of being unfilial to the parents who have lost their own human dignity throughout their lives, they had bad reputation with their relatives and loved ones in the family, lineage, and in society. After death, unfilial people will definitely be falling into the hell of darkness, stupidity, and being obscured by ignorance, not knowing the cause and effect, not knowing karma and retribution, and not knowing the Buddha's Dharma. That is the heaviest retribution for children who are not filial to the parents. Question 14. Dear teacher, young people overseas receive a different education than the Vietnamese tradition of Buddhism. Therefore, acceptance and practice of filial piety with parents are very rare and often lead to conflict. But the sin of being unfilial piety is very serious. So please, dear Thầy, give parents some guidance on how to educate their children, guide them to filial lifestyle without being restricted, without imposing constraint, so that young people will not be accused of unfilial sin later on. We all know that young people are born, grow up, live, study, and work in Western society. They come into contact with and absorb the Western culture very quickly. In order for children to understand Vietnamese culture, ethics, education, traditions, and Buddhism, first of all, Parents must be exemplary people, live with the responsibility and duty, spend proper time directly instructing children when they are still young. We are aware that when children are young, they are like blank sheets of paper and are exposed to the teachings and education of their parents very quickly in the family. Do not wait until your children are grown up. It is not easy for their parents to guide them because in their heads they are filled with material culture of Western enjoyment. At that time, parents spend a lot of time educating their children, but it is not easy to successfully educate their children to become virtuous and talented people. We know that although young people have the opportunity to learn and interact with Western culture very quickly, for the love of parents and family, no culture can deny it. The important thing is, in a family with culture, ethics, and education from a young age, parents must be exemplary teachers who skillfully teach their children both materially and spiritually when they are young. Do not wait for them to have grown up. Parents just begin to spend time teaching their children. At that time, it is already too late. Parents must spend appropriate time being close and taking care of their children. Parents are sometimes their teachers, their siblings, and their friends. Daily, parents can play many different roles with them in life. Do not let them have a lot of free time to hang out on the internet, watch depraved and violent movies. They will be damaged. Be aware of educating children when they are still young. Do not wait for children to have grown up. Then parents can just guide and educate them. At that time, parents will find it more difficult to guide and educate their children. According to the law of cause and effect, filial family between you and your children depends on the filial piety between you and your parents. Vietnamese folk songs have a saying, quote, if you are a filial to your parents, then later on your children are filial to you. It makes no difference. If you live in no filial piety with parents, do not expect your children to be filial to you. It is useless. Unquote. Thus, education of filial piety in the family is based on the relationship of cause and effect. If you have good causes with your parents, our children will have good effects with us, and vice versa. If you have no good causes with parents, our children will not have good effects on us. That is obvious. In short, if you want your children to understand the Vietnamese culture, traditions, and Buddhism, as skillful parents, you must be exemplary people who know how to spend your proper time guiding and educating your children when they are still young. Indeed, when children are educated by the parents from a young age, they will easily listen to and quickly absorb what their parents have taught. They know how to be respectful and filial to their parents and ancestors. As smart Buddhists, you know how to guide your children and grandchildren to be a Buddhist family activities at the Buddhist temple, to learn Vietnamese and to learn the Buddha Dharma in Vietnamese. Then your children will clearly understand the root of culture, Vietnamese tradition, and Buddhism in an easy and a nice way. Wishing you success in teaching and educating your children to be good and talented people overseas. May you be peacefully dwell and imbued in the Dharma of the Word Honor One. A few comments from the reader. Namo Buddhaya. Dear teacher, it is truly wonderful and admirable to see your writing in such precious details about your Dharma talk in bilingual. That is no other teacher have ever accomplished. Moreover, my experience of learning and researching Buddhism for 15 years following 24 hours has helped me feeling when listening to Dharma talks in lectures of our Australian teachers. But recently, I have paused and looked back at myself in the boundless ocean of learning. I have learned teachers who have made me respect and admire them to the end. Moreover, I have realized how to see myself and contribute a few small shares that I have experienced so that those with the same background can sympathize with each other. So I often appear on the internal pages of your own temple's ashram or of my closest friends back home. However, I promised myself that I would not miss a single lecture from the lecturers through the Commission of Education and Dharma Propagation in Europe and Australia for many months without writing any more, just thinking in my heart and learning. But on Thursday, October 12, 2023, with your lecture, I found a peer meeting of the Southern and Northern sects. As I am pursuing, admire you very much. By the way, I let you know I am a disciple of Master Nguyên Vân who took refuge for me in Australia. I respectfully have a few words to say to you and wish you good health. Sincerely in the Dharma, lay female Buddhist Hệ Hương in Australia. Talk show on October 12, 2023 in Vietnamese. Senior Venerable Thích Trừng Sĩ, MC Sister Thiện Thảo, Technician Brother Nguyên Mãn.